A University of Cambridge philosopher argues that our evidence for what constitutes consciousness is far too limited to tell if or when artificial intelligence has made the leap, and a valid test for doing so will remain out of reach for the foreseeable future. As artificial consciousness shifts from the realm of sci-fi to become a pressing ethical issue, Dr. Tom McClelland says the only justifiable stance is agnosticism. We simply won't be able to tell. And this will not change for a long time, if ever. While issues of AI rights are typically linked to consciousness, McClelland argues that consciousness alone is not enough to make AI matter ethically. What matters is a particular type of consciousness, known as sentience, which includes positive and negative feelings. Consciousness would see AI develop perception and become self-aware. But this can still be a neutral state, said McClelland from Cambridge's Department of History and Philosophy of Science. Sentience involves conscious experiences that are good or bad, which is what makes an entity capable of suffering or enjoyment. This is when ethics kicks in, he said. Even if we accidentally make conscious AI, it's unlikely to be the kind of consciousness we need to worry about. For example, self-driving cars that experience the road in front of them would be a huge deal, but ethically it doesn't matter. If they start to have an emotional response to their destinations, that's something else. Debates and challenges in AI consciousness. Companies are investing vast sums of money pursuing artificial general intelligence machines with human-like cognition. Some claim that conscious AI is just around the corner, with researchers and governments already considering how we regulate AI consciousness. McClelland points out that we don't know what explains consciousness, so don't know how to test for AI consciousness. If we accidentally make conscious or sentient AI, we should be careful to avoid harm. But treating what's effectively a toaster as conscious when there are actual conscious beings out there which we harm on an epic scale also seems like a big mistake. In debates around artificial consciousness, there are two main camps, says McClelland. Believers argue that if an AI system can replicate the software, the functional architecture of consciousness, it will be conscious even though it's running on silicon chips instead of brain tissue. On the other side, skeptics argue that consciousness depends on the right kind of biological processes in an embodied organic subject. Even if the structure of consciousness could be recreated on silicon, it would merely be a simulation that would run without the AI flickering into awareness. In a study published in the journal Mind and Language, McClelland picks apart the positions of each side, showing how both take a leap of faith, going far beyond any body of evidence that currently exists or is likely to develop. We do not have a deep explanation of consciousness. There is no evidence to suggest that consciousness can emerge with the right computational structure, or indeed that consciousness is essentially biological, said McClelland. Nor is there any sign of sufficient evidence on the horizon. The best-case scenario is we're an intellectual revolution away from any kind of viable consciousness test. I believe that my cat is conscious, said McClelland. This is not based on science or philosophy so much as common sense. It's just kind of obvious. However, common sense is the product of a long evolutionary history during which there were no artificial life forms, so common sense can't be trusted when it comes to AI. But if we look at the evidence and data, that doesn't work either. If neither common sense nor hard-nosed research can give us an answer, the logical position is agnosticism. We cannot and may never know. In a study published in the journal Mind and Language, McClelland picks apart the positions of each side, showing how both take a leap of faith going far beyond any body of evidence that currently exists.